And good evening, dear ones. Reverend Robert Brzezinski with you. I've got my dear friend, Reverend Mary Jo Honiotes with us. Hello, dear one.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone.
Very good seeing you.
Nice to be here.
Reverend Mary Jo's been with us before, and we'll talk a little bit about what she does and her work in the world after our prayer this evening. What I can tell you is that she is an absolute amazing being. Has been a model of ministry for me since I first got into ministerial school,
Oh,
and beyond that, has really great tastes in restaurants.
yeah.
So
We,
I want you to know that when you come to Denver, you can get to lunch with Mary Jo. It's always something special. So I'm
all
glad.
all the ways we would. That's how we got to know each other. In the various times we would go have a meal and talk about ministry.
Exactly, and talk about ministry. So, uh, and I'm really grateful you can be with us. Number one, Mary Jo, because I know that you have a background in inner city ministry, and I've been talking about this on this program for days now, and we've had a number of people with us that have either people of color or others that just somehow end up having background in all of this. Uh, Tracy Brown was on the program the other morning. Haven't had a chance to talk to her in weeks, and it was like that because
Yeah.
we know what's going on in our country. We know there's a healing happening. And I'm really grateful that someone that has even more experience than I do in all of this here to be able to be with us, share with us, and pray with us tonight.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
so I think you do know the question that we ask. It's been an interesting week. What's been in your heart? What's been in your prayers? What would you have us know or be considering this week?
Wow. So much, as anyone would say. Um, I liken it to kind of a firecracker, multi-directional energy right now for me, for all of us. And I have been so impressed and so kind of brought to my knees and cracking open my heart at the young people that I'm watching lead in these protests. They're leading from organizations that have for many years been laying the groundwork for this kind of diverse um, representation of the truth, that we're all one, that you belong to me and I belong to you, and anything that we might do to our brother, we do to ourselves. And I was talking to my niece the other day, and I said, your generation has maybe a more, thank God, they have a more embodied um, belief or idea that we are all the same and that we all deserve that kind of equality. Because I think in that generation, there was more diversity. And she was in her high school. I'm sorry, when she was in the fifth grade, it was the first time that children with disabilities were integrated into schools. And so, Robert, you and I can probably remember that, there are the special needs classes, and I think some of that still happens, but the people with disabilities were integrated, and they still are with everybody's activity. And so, I just think that I watched Obama's town hall last night, and the feeling that I've had of just the rising that's happening. And he said it too. He said it's different. It's different. And so that's a lot of what I've been filled up with. And the realization that New Thought in its beautiful, beautiful journey of training individuals to be about oneness. That we really have been planting these seeds, and many of us can say, "I've envisioned this. I've envisioned this. I've wanted this." And so I live on the inspirational side of life, and um, I've just been very touched. And some of these young people, how articulate they are, and it's just, it's very, very impressive. So, and I've also been opening myself up. I'm starting a book club to with some of my family to study the White Fragility book, and just opening up, listening, doing what I can to do as my African American brothers and sisters are asking us to do, which is listen. So that's what's going on for me. And you and I had a chat the other night about, let's go down to the protest, let's go down there, um, and I know there are lots of other ways that we can serve, and so we didn't make it down there, but we were watching it live. I can't hear you, Robert.
Thank you.
There you go.
And this goes for everyone, right, folks? As long as we're doing what we feel called to do, as long as we're adding to the conversation, not detracting, but adding, not standing up and screaming that all lives matter. We know that that's not what conversation is all about. We need to be authentic and do what is ours.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
it's been a powerful time. I think I shared with you, Mary Jo, a video that uh, I've been watching a lot of citizen journalists lately,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and a prayer that got started, a call for prayer in the middle of a protest in Denver, and it wasn't really much of a prayer, and kind of the only time I've ever heard a prayer that starts with "goddamn." Um,
Yay.
but
Sometimes that's the only word you can use.
sometimes, but by the end and within 2 minutes, this group of young folk, of people, were jumping up and down, yelling, "We are one!
Yeah.
We are one! We are one!" And uh, I've said this so many times in this program. We've been asking and we've been praying and we've been doing the work in consciousness for a world that works for everyone. And to create that, we also have to be willing to look at where the world isn't working for some
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make the changes in consciousness and in our activities and in our thoughts to get rid of those barriers and to break down those barriers. So
That was the first chant that they did, we are one. And then the next one was we love you.
yeah,
We love you. And then the next one was you are not alone. You are not alone.
right.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
stuff. Well, let's get
Yeah.
into some prayer then. So
Okay.
here's the way this works, folks. This is called Share a Prayer. Reverend Mary Jo is going to get us started off, take us through into wherever spirit takes us. And when she's feeling complete, pass it over to me. I'll take the prayer, wrap it up, and then we'll head off into the next portion of our evening. So please, your
Lovely.
this way.
Okay. All right. So let us just come to that place of the Most High, that place within, consciously allowing the breath connecting with our breathing. For all the teachers of all time have said that when we are conscious of our breath, we are in the present moment. And the truth of life is that there is only the present moment. We allow ourselves to know that this breath is the breath of our brother and our sister, that we welcome the divine breath for those who cannot breathe. for those who are struggling to breathe. We welcome the divine breath to breathe all. And so we also make a conscious connection with the power and the presence that has been called by many names throughout all of time. It's the very dynamic of good. It is the very unconditional love, infinite wisdom that keeps the planets in their place and that knows the most intimate need of the tiniest songbird. This is the power and presence that exists, that is. This is the is that is. And we make conscious connection with that. We allow ourselves to just reside there. For we are the very expression of this power and presence. For if it is all, then we are a part of it. We are never separate from it. We might have that experience at times or think, where is our connection to our power, to our presence, to our God? We're always unified. There is no spot where God is not. And it's in this unification, this place of knowing that we are the very breath of God. We are the very light of truth. It's in this moment of this unification that I speak a word now for this time together. That what I know is that we have this opportunity and we give ourselves, we allow ourselves to be lifted during this time. We allow ourselves to see the world that works for everyone. We allow ourselves to open and expand our heart so that where we may have put something out of our heart, there is room now. We allow ourselves to not know. We allow ourselves to make space for all that is in the kingdom of heaven, that ever expanding good. For we know that our contribution to this rising of truth begins in consciousness. And we take our inner life, we spend this time making sure that we devote moments in our day to being centered and connected to the truth, doing our own work as we move out into the world, so that the space that we have in our heart, the conviction that we have in our mind, it is what leads. It is what is experienced in our outer world. There's no time for there's no time for avoiding. It's time to trust the truth in us and as we move forward in conversation, in response, in our own actions. We move from this place that we are one. We are one. And we take our spiritual leadership, we take it sacredly and know that as we walk in the truth that we are one, that we love you, and that you are not alone. That's an important walk. And I pass. I don't hear you, Robert.
Thank you. I too come from that place of knowing that we are not alone. There is no aloneness in the mind of God. There is no separation, no division. That yes, deeply we are one. And in that oneness, we are coming together to create a new world, to create a new vision, a vision where Black lives matter, where brown lives matter, where we pay attention to what is being asked of us to heal this planet. For we are working to bring forth a mighty, mighty vision, a vision of a world that works for everyone. And in that, we're being called to release, to let go of the systems that no longer work, to reform systems into new ways of being, into new ways of connecting. Across this entire planet, systems and organizations and communities and connections, all shifting, all changing to bring forth a greater experience, a greater vision of God's glory made manifest on this planet. Where we know that every human life is an expression of love, and that we each have the ability to love unconditionally, love without reserve. I claim for each a deep sense of radical inclusivity, of fierce compassion, of an absolute dedication to demonstrate and manifest the truth of God's life, to manifest and demonstrate the absolute truth of your vision, of the vision you hold for your life, of the vision you hold for humanity. For what I know is I know that each one is bringing a unique piece to this puzzle. It is a 20 billion piece puzzle. And we're each bringing a piece. We're each bringing a different shade, a different tone, a different perspective, a different ideal. And together we are coming into this great, magnificent vision of a world where everyone matters, where everyone's voice is heard, where everyone is honored and respected, where we are free from judgment, where we are free from condemnation, where there is no need for a system of incarceration, where there is no need for a system of law enforcement, where all of life is living according to the law and everyone is awakened to that truth. And so there is no need to enforce those laws. There is no need to lock up or distribute, or whatever we want to call it, monitor people. There's no need for any of that. For that is all a human perception, a human misuse of the law. And so I claim for each one that hears these words the opportunity of saying yes to what is calling from within, saying yes to what is mine to do, saying yes to the great calling to serve this magnificent healing, this magnificent evolution and revelation of the great and glorious power, the great and glorious vision that is God's life expressing as human life. So I am filled to overflowing with a deep sense of gratitude for the truth that has revealed itself here this day. We are one, you are loved, and no one is alone. We all walk in the hands of God. We all walk with the breath of God. We all walk with the love and the light of God. And I claim for each one that hears these words an experience, a sacred yes of saying, I do that proudly. I walk with the love of God and do what is mine to do. And through that, we create heaven on earth. So I am grateful to be witness to it, to be a part of it, to be a demonstration of this great creative force that's happening on the planet. Most especially, I'm grateful to know that God's got this. This is not mine to do. I focus on the what. Let God take care of the how. I release the word into the law that must demonstrate that in fact is already operating upon this word, and I let it be. And if any of this has resonated with you in any way, please join together as we affirm this truth and say, and so it
And
is.
so it is. So we let it be.
Ashe. Thank you, dear
Oh,
one.
yes.
Mm,
Yes.
good seeing you.
So, yeah. Are we?
Now, as is customary, we want to make sure you know how to find Reverend Mary Jo, and probably the best way to do that is over on her website.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to remember, maryjohoniotes.com.
Yep.
And
Very
it's
good.
and it's right there on the
Are
screen.
you gonna keep on with your prayers while you're at the beach?
I am, yes. So I was
Oh,
sharing with Mary Jo. I'm going on a little bit of a vacation, folks. And I'll be here for morning prayers on Sunday. Starting Sunday evening, I've got a couple of dear friends, Reverend Lisa Bear and Reverend Elzia Sekou, who are going to take over most of the duties, and they're going to split
good.
up a lot of those. And I'm still working on that schedule. I'll probably drop in for a few prayers throughout the week. Uh, Mostly because I don't know what I would do if I had to go a whole week without
Oh my goodness.
with all you people. So
We don't want to see you without a prayer, right?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That'd be
You've seen
good.
me with longer hair, folks. You don't want to see me without prayer for sure. But yes, so we will. The program will continue, folks, whether I'm here or not. The program will continue every morning, 8:15 a.m. Mountain Time, every evening, 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time. We get our prayer on. We get to know that affirmative truth. This isn't begging and beseeching. This is stating an affirmative truth of the truth we know, the truth we desire, and the truth we believe. So I invite you to come back and join us again sometime soon.
Will do.
Right on.
Okay, everyone. Were you talking to me?
You and everyone. You're
Yeah.
always welcome. We'll
Have a
just
good
let Mary Jo
have a good
drop in kind of guerrilla style some night. You can just barge in any night.
Yeah. Okay, good. I've got your number.
Exactly.
I'll be in the waiting room and you'll go, "Oh my gosh, there's someone in the waiting room." No, backstage. That's what it says on the screen. You're
Yes.
backstage. Yeah. By the way, when I just said that about you don't want to see you without a prayer, that comes from a story that Michael Beckwith told about somebody who asked him, how can you do how do you do that? How do you pray every day?
Mm.
And he would say, "How do I not?" He goes, "You don't want to see me without a prayer." So
Exactly.
any good stories worth stealing and telling again. So
Yep. Exactly. And you gave credit where credit was due, so that's even more.
that's right. That's right.
Most ministers, we just borrow stuff and forget where we got it. So
I know. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
you, dear one.
Love you too. See you later.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night now. Bye now.
We are one.